The panel of experts seem to believe that the UN peacekeeping should stop using Burundian peacekeepers given the human rights issues both in CAR and in Burundi. So given that I've now seen a deployment order for flights beginning on December 10th to in fact send more Burundian troops to CAR than are currently there, up to 800, and it's dated November 28th, I'm wondering, either from this podium or sometime today, can the UN explain why the Secretariat and DPKO are rejecting this human rights recommendation to not take the peacekeepers, and how that's consistent with rights up front and consistency of the system?
Well, regarding that, following consultations with all relevant offices within the UN system, the Secretariat has decided to continue with the deployment of the Burundian battalion in the Central African Republic. The deployment of the Burundian troops will remain under close review based on the evolving situation in Burundi and cooperation with the UN. The conduct of the Burundian troops in the Central African Republic will also be closely monitored. And regarding what you've been asking about people's individual records, one thing I can say is that following a review of the CVs of the proposed incoming battalion, 9 individuals were excluded from the rotation.
And well, just one follow-up, because I've seen that letter in the 9 and published it, but I wanted to ask you, I've also, and now, since you've gone this far, since the letter, the Note Verbale, says it's based on cooperation by the government of Burundi with the UN system, given this past weekend's demonstration against the UN, an allegation by the ruling party that the UN is distributing weapons, and a memo that's come out showing that government employees were required to protest the UN, is that cooperation, and who is reviewing it, under what time frame, given that they're going to fly December 2nd?
We will evaluate all these developments, but regarding the weekend events, of course, you're aware of what my colleague Stephane said at the start of this week.